Hello again, guys. Last time we talked about a 1-to-1 scale transfer, and we're going to keep it about the same this time. It might be a little bit difficult if we have a different size sheet of paper. You know, if I look at my paper right here, this is 8.5 by 11. So if your picture is one that you've brought in and it's a little bit smaller, I might end up making a photocopy of it and enlarge it to 8.5 by 11 just to make it easier on you guys so that we can keep to a 1-to-1 scale transfer. If not, we'll talk about a 1-to-2 or a custom size, and I'll show you exactly how to do that in class. But again, we're back to 1-to-1. So on your sheet, you guys are actually going to have to measure out your own stuff. So I'll give you guys these transparency sheets. So if you can actually see it, it's a little bit shiny. These are just clear sheets, and what's going to happen is I'm eventually going to get your guys' pictures back to you, and we're actually going to slip them underneath, and this grid is going to be visible over top of your picture so that you guys are able to transfer that information so much more easily to your nice paper. So basically, you're helping out yourself because later on we can always use this for rodeo or any other type of project that you need to duplicate something. Your lines don't have to be perfect, you know, nice and dark or anything like that. We just need to be able to see them somewhat so that we're able to transfer that information to our picture. So on your project, whenever you're starting on this section, I know it's difficult, and I'll make sure that you guys have some really nice new Sharpies, so that'll help out a little bit. But what I need you guys to do is to actually get your ruler lined up with the edges of your paper. I'm going to go flip around my ruler. Line this edge right here. You have that black line, not the edge of your ruler, the black line where it starts with your centimeters and millimeters. And then you are going to start measuring at 1. This is actually dead space because this is a little bit longer than what we needed. And then we start every centimeter. So 1, 2, all the way on down and hit until 20. That is another set of dead space just because it's a little bit of a weird shape. And I keep making those tick marks on down. Now, do not turn your paper. You'll take your ruler straight on down to the bottom of it and do the exact same thing. Line up that black line with the edge of your paper and then go 1 through 20. Once you have all those tick marks, just like I was starting to do here, I am starting to connect those lines. You will also be doing the exact same thing with the length. So this long edge right here, every 1 inch. And we'll go over the measurements in just a minute of what that is. One thing that I've noticed helps is kind of rotating the marker in my palm whenever I'm doing it, just because some of the lacquer dries and it makes it really difficult to make a line just because it really doesn't like this shiny stuff. It ends up helping us out in the long run because we don't want a big huge thick line anyway.
Hey guys, I'm Tom Mendez.
Okay, almost got all this. About halfway there. When you guys get your transfer papers, the little clear plastic, you'll also notice that one edge has like glue on it. That's another reason why we're just keeping that dead space, because your picture is going to slip in on that one side and then actually be able to be held in there. And if it's too big or we have like extra white sections that you need cut out, just let me know and I'll take it back in the back room and trim it down for you. That way we're able just to focus on the image itself and transferring it over to your nice paper for your project. Okay, last couple. Another thing, if you guys are using the thicker Sharpies instead of the thin ones, make sure that you actually have it pulled back, like the ruler pulled back a little bit off your tick marks, just because of how thick the marker is. Because if you don't have that space, it's going to be like pushed over a little bit too far or too back from that line. And one last one. Okay, so when you guys are doing the long end, remember we keep it on one side, centimeters and millimeters. Connect the black line up on top. I start at 1 and I go all the way to 27 right over here. So 1 to 27, don't rotate your paper. Once you have all those tick marks, you go straight down to the bottom, connect that black line up with the edge of your paper right here, and you go 1 to 27. Once you have all those, start connecting them again to get this nice grid. So let me grab a picture real quick, just as like a practice, so you guys can kind of understand what I'm talking about. So pretend I'm going to go duplicate the Bailey Buccaneers or this Caught Being Kind information. So I would be able to slip this under here. If this was the edge of my picture, I'm going to line it up here and fit it within the grid itself. Just like our 1-to-1 scale, I would start memorizing these. So I'm going to cross this one off, that one's dead space. Go 1, 2, or AB all the way on down. Go 1, 2, or AB all the way on down, so I just have to make sure they're different. So if this is the alphabet, this one's the numbers, that one's the alphabet. Then I can go back in here and I can start saying B1, 2, 3. This is where I start having information, where I have some of these lines that are coming through. That is how it helps us. I'll actually talk to you more about transferring information from this to this one. Was just so that we were able to start marking down our own grid papers. Thank you guys. If you need any help, just call me on over. Thank you.